Hello, I am Atome's Miss Korea, new Imperial Master Jeong Lee. My life has changed after being promoted to an Imperial Master. I always thought my life was the same, but as I was preparing for today's lecture, I realized that my life had changed drastically. There is a before and after stage in my life. Before I came an Imperial Master, for about 10 years, the engine that motivated me was survival. However, after being promoted to an Imperial Master, it's no longer survival that drives me. My concern now is to coexist. I have reached the highest rank, and my commission will not increase. I'm also more free with my time. I thought I was done, but I could have never been so wrong. I had a bigger assignment to tackle, and that was to coexist, to survive together, to live well together, to share together. I should also have a good life for the remaining days of my life. Today, I want to talk with all of you about the things that I still have left to do. And I want to talk about the end result that I'm envisioning for my future dreams. The title for today's lecture is From Surviving to Coexisting. My goal from now on is not surviving, but coexisting. Then there should be people whom I want to coexist with, right? They are my partners. And if the sphere of my coexistence expanded, it could be all of members of Atomy. If Atomy keeps branching out to the whole world, then ultimately it will be the whole world. I believe the coexistence will be possible through Atomy. Let me introduce you to the first person I want to coexist with. She's very fair, right? She is 87 years old and she is the mother of one of my partners. Both of her daughters are doing Atomy business. And because of that, she went traveling recently. One day, she was with her elderly friends, and one of them said that she went to a place with lots of people, and there was a lady there who donated $1 million on stage. The Senior Citizen Center exploded. Some said, "Is she crazy?" "Wow, she's amazing." Some said, "It's possible because she is alone." So this lady came home and told her daughter about the story of the lady who donated $1 million, which was her prize money. Then the daughter responded, "Mom, she's my sponsor. Atomy is a business that makes such things possible." Do you know what her mother said? "Are you going to give it all away as well?" So the daughter responded, "Mom, I will give away the prize money if God says so." Then the mother asked, "When will you receive that prize money?" "I don't know, Mom. I'm trying my best." And the mother said, "By the time you receive that kind of money, I'll be buried in the ground." The daughter then concluded, "Mom, just be healthy. I will try my best to be successful like my sponsor during your lifetime. I will succeed so that you can witness it." I'm actually not standing here today to talk about my own story. I want to talk about our story. I'm standing here today in front of all of you to talk about our story of doing Atomy business. This is the son-in-law of the 87-year-old lady whose name is Young Sun Choi. Her daughter does Atomy, and this is her husband. He is in fact a member of the Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra, which is the most prestigious orchestra in all of Korea. He is the lead chair for contrabass there. This man helps his wife's Atomy business very proactively. I call him Professor An. And he is the most down-to-earth person from all the professors I've met. He is as pure as a child, and he loves classical music. I was able to meet someone because of Professor An. This boy here was raised in an orphanage ran by nuns in Busan. Myung-hoon Jeong, the conductor for Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra, and its members go to the disadvantaged students to do volunteer work. They go to such places and give free concerts and give one-on-one lessons to students who want to learn. This boy in the picture was introduced to music for the first time. He was captivated by the low tones of the contrabass. He also had the talent. What do people usually ask to such gifted students? Who is going to buy you the instrument? Who is going to pay for the lessons? The conductor, however, lent the boy the contrabass and gave him lessons. But no one knew that this boy would practice so hard. Later on, this boy would carry the contrabass on his back and travel to Seoul every week. The members of the Philharmonic Seoul Orchestra took care of this boy. Everyone thought that university would be his final goal. But one day he said he wanted to go to Germany to study more. Everyone was more worried than excited at this point. Professor An thought that he just had to send him to university, so he was in no condition to support the boy in Germany. He had already sent 2 of his daughters to the U.S. for studies, and he had already tapped into his retirement fund. But he could not give up on the dream of the boy. So I somehow heard about the situation, and I told Professor An, I will support him. Yeah. This is the result. This is the boy. Because of his great talent, he received full scholarship from the school in Germany. But he still needed money for living expenses, so I'm supporting him for his daily expenses. As a result, he graduated at the top of his class. I'm not the one who is to be applauded. I want to point out that it was the husband of my atomy partner who refused to snuff out the fire inside the boy. Why then does the wife of Professor An work so hard in atomy business? This is a premium deluxe room of a hospice in Yongin. People who are placed here might pass away anytime soon. That could be a week or even a month. Most of them do not last a full year. This is one of the rooms of Sammul Hospice. Professor An goes every week to this hospice for volunteer work. So his wife, who was doing atomy, realized one day, my husband's retirement is coming soon. In order for him to continue his volunteer work, someone needs to support him financially. So the wife told her husband, honey, don't worry about anything. I have picked up a tool called atomy. Let me be your sponsor so that you can serve others with classical music without pay. I will support you so that you can do what you love. So don't worry. Do you know what happened to him? He drives his wife to the center every day now. He tells her, you can do it, honey. You said you'd be responsible after I retire, right? So that I can play classical music as much as I want? Though I'm bringing home the bread right now, I can give back to the society by contributing my talents. I can go anywhere. Now, his wife has become his faithful supporter. These are top-notch musicians in Korea. But they are participating in volunteer work. There are different forms of sharing. The culture of sharing is spreading like wildfire, even with atomy at a faster rate than you think. Is the baby boomer generation the only one doing this? No, not at all. This is my partner's son. He is only 23 years old. In the military after high school, he thought hard about what he was going to do after the military. He pondered hard what he should do after being discharged. I actually asked him this morning, "Why are you doing atomy?" He said that his mother and his aunt was into atomy business. He said that before he went into the military, the two ladies were not that classy. But after being discharged from the military, he saw how his mother and his aunt had completely changed. His mother had been promoted to a Star Master and joined the Leaders Club. He said that they had become different people. His words are actually quite funny. If a lady like my mother and aunt can do it, so can I. I don't think he knows the power of Korean ladies yet. The lady next to her is his partner. She is actually a lot older than him. He is already a diamond master and he is her sponsor. Do you know what is in her hands? They are atomy flyers. What kind of network do you think a 23-year-old will have? But still, young people have time and passion. They can say, I'll do it. I'll do the driving. I'll carry the heavy boxes. It's about getting rejected together and receiving compliments together. It's about receiving insults together as well. He is doing a good job as a sponsor. Next, she is 32 years old. She went to Australia to get a barista license. She said in the beginning it was great. She tried to get a green card there, and she heard she could extend her visa easily if she worked at a tomato farm. But in reality, that was not the case. If 13 people worked on the farm, they had to split the profits for that day 13 ways, so she could not make much profit. She could not pay for her cost of living by picking tomato all day at the farm. She had to borrow money from other Koreans. She could not make money, but rather had to borrow money. She was worse off in Australia than when she was in Korea. When she was going through a difficult time, that's when her aunts told her about atomy. She knew very well about her aunt's situation. She knew that they could not buy her a plane ticket. So she threw a joke at them. Will you buy me a plane ticket? But her aunts had in fact sent her a plane ticket. She asked again, will you pay off my debt? And they had in fact paid off her debt. Also, her aunts used to wear worn-out clothes before from the market. But her aunts were now wearing nice designer clothes. You know, fancy clothes that all the mannequins wear in the malls. So she started to ask, what's happening? So she looked into atomy business, and now she is a Sharon Rose master. Here's another story. Here's a 27-year-old young man. There are a few famous universities in China. There's Tsinghua University in the north and Jeong University in the south. His father is the branch manager of a bank. He had sent him to study overseas in China. During his vacations, he attended atomy seminars and started to wonder what he should do after his graduation. And he concluded that it would be good for him to do atomy. So he became an atomy member without his dad knowing. He is doing very well right now in atomy. He chose atomy even with a diploma from a prestigious university in China. He is looking ahead of the day when atomy will be launched in China. He knows he will thrive when China opens up. He joins atomy because of China's potential. While preparing for this lecture, I asked my partners. I told them to ask their children, which words are the biggest encouragements for those in their 20s and 30s? 1, you have our support. 2, don't worry. 3, you can do it. 4, you're doing a good job. 5, we trust you. What do you think was the highest response? Which one? That's right, it's number 2. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, Mom and Dad are here for you. Why? They say you have to give up a lot of things these days in Korea. There are so many things to give up in our society. The baby boomer generation, including me, lived through a generation that experienced abundance and poverty. However, our children's generation are experiencing poverty within abundance. Some will spend their whole life just working part-time jobs. Do you know what these young adults want to hear from their parents? It's not, "We will support you." It's, "Don't worry." Next question. From which of the following do the parents get encouraged the most? 1. I'll stay home today. 2. I'll give you allowance. 3. Mom, Dad, I got promoted. 4. Thank you for giving birth to me. What do you think is the answer? It was number 2. I'll give you allowance. What do you think is the next highest response? Thank you for giving birth to me. What about baby boomers who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s? Which words do you think gives encouragement to the parents the most? It's number 1. Mom, Dad, you're the best. This shows that no matter how difficult one's life is, if their children acknowledge them, then the parents are encouraged. Here's another one. Which words do you think encouraged the baby boomers the most that came from their parents? 1. Son, daughter, you're the best. 2. You make living worthwhile. 3. Son, daughter, you are the most lovable person. 4. Giving birth to you was the best thing ever. What do you think was the highest? It was number 1. It was number 1. My daughter, you're the best. My son, you're the best. The reason why I tell you such things is because I try to say these things to my loved ones these days. He's an actor, right? He's known as the walking actor. In the book, the author explains in the early years of his career, he didn't get many job offers. So he just walked so that he would not get discouraged. He walked to comfort himself. This man walks 100,000 steps a day. He walks every day from his home to his job. When I read this, I thought to myself, I should try walking too. In the past, I've hurt my knees and legs before. I've broken my toe as well, so I asked my doctor, how long should I walk daily? And he said that I should walk no more than 30 minutes a day, so I walk every day for 30 minutes. All of you know who this is, right? He is the one responsible for founding the Atomic Research Center. He is one of the most influential people for the company of Atomy. I've actually never met him before, but my sponsors had an opportunity to meet their partners about a month ago. During the meal, my sponsor said that she had met Professor Jeong before. She also said that she asked him a question. Some of my partners become successful, but some quit in the middle. What is a reason for this? Professor, you've succeeded in many things in this life. What do you think is the main difference with those who succeed? And the professor said the single word that separated those who succeeded with those who were not successful. It was, nevertheless. Though I had not heard the professor speak directly, when I heard this, I felt like a bomb blew in my head. And I tried to apply this in my life every day. I actually knew the importance of his message before. Professor Jeong said that his hobby is running marathons. He runs every day. He says that when the weather is good, everyone runs outside. When it rains, more than half of the runners are gone. When it snows, he is the only one out there running. I'm actually experiencing this to be true. When the weather is nice, there's a lot of people outside. But for me, even if it rains, I walk with an umbrella. It doesn't affect my walking at all. When it's raining, I'm the only one walking on the trail. I'm waiting for it to snow these days. I think to myself, it's only raining, and there's no one walking. I wonder if there will be anyone else walking if it's snowing outside. I knew exactly what Professor Jeong was talking about because I was already experiencing that in my life. I knew the importance of nevertheless. When the weather is good outside, or whether I'm the only one walking outside, whether it's thundering outside, or whether it's snowing, the important thing for those who are successful is nevertheless. I don't want to talk about money to all of you. I was someone that didn't have to worry about surviving anymore. I thought I didn't have anything left to do. But that wasn't the case. My partners are still struggling every day to survive. A week ago, I was interviewed at the headquarters. The interviewer was from the Next Economy. Do you know what the last question that was thrown at me? Is there any story you want to share with Atomy members? I said, yes, there is something that I hope for Atomy members. It's very simple. What is it? I said, it is for all of us to live well. I hope all of us will live well together. The interviewer asked me again, what do you mean to live well? Is it donating a big amount of money like you? No. For me, to live well is when the husband can protect his wife. It is when he can protect his family and not get divorced. It is preventing the children from suffering, protecting them from the perils of poverty. I believe that is what means to live well. The wife looks after her husband, and the husband looks after his wife. The parents take care of their children, and the children should not send off their parents to a nursing home. This is my definition of to live well. I hope all of Atomy members could live such a life. If so, Korea as a nation will prosper as well. All of you want to live such lives too, right? Then all of you should read this one more time. Shall we read it together? During difficult times, nevertheless. During harsh criticisms, nevertheless. When they point fingers at you, nevertheless. All of you are sitting here today, nevertheless. Why, then, should we carry on, nevertheless? It is because we have people we must protect. Let me show you who they are. It's our children. These are the children of my partner. Do you know what her child wrote here? Let's get that Star Master rank. The sponsor is going on a trip with her parents. The mother were promoted to Sharon Rose Masters, and on their promotional trip, they took a photo at the airport. Here's the son of one of my partners. You know what that is, right? It's a hairstyler. What does this picture represent? He is our future consumer. The children are able to dream together with their parents. It is not only those who are in their 20s and 30s that's important. These children will be the main players in 20 or 30 years. They are the children of our partners. They will be our future consumers, and they will one day lead Atomy. One of the children here is adopted. The member's husband is a school teacher. I didn't know, but they already had 2 children. I asked, how did you decide to do such an amazing thing? And she said that she had always talked with her husband. Honey, though we do not have the capacity to change the world or do something amazing, we can do one good thing in this world by adopting a child as our own. She said that was why they decided to adopt a child. The child is growing well by the love of the family. And they went on a promotional trip to Da Nang. She's so pretty, right? What is that in her hand? It's Atomy's chewable omega-3. They want to have fair skin. They are our future consumers. And they will be the ones that will lead Atomy's bright future. They are growing every day. You see this little baby? She has grown a lot. You see she has food all over her face. This is what she looks like today. Do you understand why we must carry on nevertheless? In order to protect these children from losing their smiles, us adults must all live well. That's the only way we'll be able to protect the smiles of our children. I believe we will have lived a good life only when our children and grandchildren can smile like this. In Atomy, your understanding of family will change. In the past, you just had to live well. You might have thought, I must survive. But you won't be happy if you only survive by yourself. Those around you must survive as well. The sales master beside you must live well, and the diamond master beside you must live well also. The Sharon Rose master beside you must also have a good life. Only when they get promoted to be a royal master and enjoy freedom from money and time will they live good lives. As I told you before, I will keep on walking. For what? For our coexistence. In order to coexist with the members of Atomy, I will keep on walking with these children on my back, with the 87-year-old lady on my back as well. As I walk, there will be thunder. Someone will throw a rock at me. I might not have done anything wrong, but I might be blamed for some mistake. One thing that I'm sure of is that though the journey might be difficult, at the finish line, I will have become a better Jeong Lee than when I first started this journey. And the world when I will be at the finish line will be a more beautiful place than when it was in the beginning. The stories that I told you today are not my own stories. A partner of mine is fluent in English, and she said that if you flip me, you get we. Before I was promoted to an Imperial master, I just focused on me. It was all about me. But what about now? It's all about we. It was all about surviving before. But today, it's all about coexisting. Thank you very much.